On the humble like Ron Weasley squad, we have Bongo running the One Hand Holy, Dio running the Great Hammer with the Demon Helmet, the One Hand Curse and Torch from Berberina, the current for Mr. Conic, and Epic running when he stands still, the nature staff, so double healer. However, double healer running cloth, so their healing output is going to be incredible. Pretty much going to play around Burbina using that grudge on herself, I believe, to push through and do some damage. Zabroska actually takes a ton of damage in the start. The Death Kiss does come out. If that's no cleanse, that could be some serious damage, but Feya's using that Armor Pierce onto Babina actually takes so much damage. Zabroska falls very, very low. Bongo actually got a Poison Pot just randomly thrown at him, but Zabroska goes down. 12 seconds left to the caps come up. Steflex very, very low. Feya's low, Progrero low, and Harissa half health. One that looks to be focused on healing at the moment. Epilic actually going off to the top right cap early to get there in time so they can be back for the first fight. I actually really like this call.
Yeah, great play there from Miskatonic as well, knowing that the Death Curse was going to go off, positioning himself in a position to capitalize on the follow-up. Berberina here going for the early invade. Looks like the top right cap is going to go uncontested. Steflex has turned up. This is going to be Berberina versus Steflex. He's going to put that Death Curse out first, then grudge himself. Gets flicked and is in the Forest of Spears. The leap isn't very good. I think he kind of mistimed that. Is probably going to bring Steflex down with the Vile Curse ticks.
Nope.
Dodge roll to negate. Some of it does get it done. Looks like the invade has been stopped. Berberina in a lot of trouble there very early on. I think he got quite greedy with the Death's Curse. Wasn't able to sort of capitalize on the grudge because of the flick. He thought about going for the auto attacks, but had to bail out because he was stuck in a Forest of Spears. Not the best play from him there, and a good defense on the invade. But now it looks like the leftovers are going to have to fight for survival in the middle. There's one cap apiece now. Only 1 point separating these teams. Currently a slight advantage to Humble like Ron Weasley. Zabroska coming in with the silence. Gets Berberina. Epic actually could be in a bit of trouble. Jumps into the Hellion Hood. Everlasting Spirit activated. Not actually procced. Berberina now has to leap to safety. Zabroska is in deep. Does miss that splitting slash onto Dio and Miskatonic. That could have secured the kill if he landed it. But it looks like the leftovers are able to push through at the moment and do a bit of work. Bongo going to leap out of there. Everlasting Spirit keeping him alive. He does manage to get the heals off. Both healers are concentrating on Bongo. Miskatonic does manage to bring down Fayers, and it looks like the double healer squad, they've stabilized once again. It looked pretty bad. Dio's under a bit of pressure. Bongo seems to have it under control. Zabroska hits him with the mighty swing, but down comes the healing. Berberina now has that grudge, but has to leap out because of the pressure. And even with these two healers and a one-man advantage, they're not just pushing through right now. Dio, again, it's two healers, a tank, and two DPS. Berberina goes down to Hersa. Bye-bye. Now it's all on Miskatonic in the front line, the only DPS for his team. What can he do from here? Feya's looking to push them back, going very, very aggressive with that Curse Staff. Puts the Demonic Field onto Bongo, but he just steps aside. Splitting Slash and Pierce timed perfectly. The Poison Pot to follow up. Bongo being trained down, but E-Kicks got that protection of nature onto him. Dio looks like he's trying to line up a nice tackle to control some of this damage output. Zabroska, another mighty swing coming out. And actually, Harissa has just been turreting at the back with this Frost Dart. Finally, they've noticed and almost managed to get the kill. Dio actually finishing him off with a knee bash. Steflex in a lot of trouble. Fayez and Zabroska holding the point. Fayez, though, miles out of position. Bongo actually auto-attacking him because all of his DPS have run away. Finally, Miskatonic and Dio, Berberina, they're all back now. Fayez is going to have to pull back, and I think Humble like Ron Weasley are going to get the first rotation.
Yeah, I mean, they're close. Bit of a brawly fight. 5 kills over to Bongo and Co. in this Humble like Ron Weasley squad. I mean, the double healer comp running a tank as well. They've got to be so coordinated with their damage. They're very, very reliant at the moment on Babina being able to just one-shot with that Death Curse. And the problem is, I've done a lot of testing when it comes to one-handed curse. You have to run cloth if you're wanting them 100-0 plays. And at the moment, she's just not got the damage for it. And the problem is that while they don't, leftovers should be able to just stabilize after the death curses or potentially cleanse it. and then come in with a lot of damage themselves, running obviously the 4 DPS comp and no tank.
Again, like you said, like a soldier's armor tank would be somewhat acceptable because you could put some damage out with it. But it looks like both caps have been taken, and we're going to go for a mid fight now. Humble like Ron Weasley currently holding the advantage. The leftovers are far from out of it though. Miskatonic going deep, building up stacks very, very early. Does look like he's running that Iron Will as well, just to give himself a bit more sustain in that back line. He knows he's going to have to go deep. I guess he's trusting in his healers. Does manage to land a nice Mortal Agony Mighty Swing. Oh no, he is running Split and Slash. My mistake. He does hit Fairs. Fairs goes into the ice block. The heals come out. But in the meantime, good early exchange from them. Fairs now pulling back. Zabroska and Steflex are down. And the leftovers in a lot of trouble. Fairs was just kind of trying to stay on the point and buy some time. But he needs to know that there's no follow-up coming. And I think they might be giving this one up quite early. Looks like Fairs has regenerated and coming back into the fight. Good front line, though. Pushing out of the point from Dio. Shutting down the healer with that Demon Helm silence. And it looks like they're going to bounce off it. The cap is going to go. Steflex is going to get procced by that Death Curse. There wasn't many stacks of Vile Curse, so the damage wasn't too bad. And it looks like Fairs is going to do the holding position. Steflex is going to go for the defensive cap. And Eplic is looking for a bit of an invade. He actually thinks twice as he gets sandwiched between Fairs and Zabroska. Opting not to take that fight. Zabroska goes in to engage Miskatonic. In the meantime, Fairs is going to push into Epic. Both top caps seem to be going to their respective teams. Miskatonic, however, nearly gets dropped by Zabroska's Mighty Swing. In comes the tackle, though, from Dio to try and buy some time. Pushing them off the point. Dodge roll from Harissa to get back on. There was Peguero on the point the whole time, though, so the cap is not in jeopardy just yet. Bongo very, very deep in front of Harissa. Harissa trying to reposition, putting some pressure onto Miskatonic. The two-man Mighty Swing. Faye's very quick reactions with the ice block does manage to avoid the whole thing. Berberina's Grudge instantly. Two poison pots go flying into Berberina when that Grudge gets activated. They are not having any of it right now. A poison pot party all over his face. Faye's having to sprint round and reposition. Miskatonic trying to get in there, whiffs the Mighty Swing. Harissa still could be in trouble. Split and slash onto Fayez. Fayez now got the attention of Miskatonic. Peguero is slept and then he gets knocked back by the wind wall. He is back in action, so Fayez should be fine. Puts the pressure onto Miskatonic. Zabroska with the Mighty Swing does connect, but not able to finish them. And they're just lacking that damage throughput to finish a target right now. And every time...
The problem is they're just sustaining. They're not actually killing. They're just sustaining at the moment.
And every time the Ron Weasley guys stabilize, like it's all over. They have to wait for everything again, don't they?
Yeah, and that's it. They're gonna have to. It's basically it's round fighting again. Kind of that whole right. We've had our turn. Now you come and hit us for 10 minutes, and then we'll come and hit you again. But they are winning these fights on just sustainability. Steflex does go down to Miskatonic there. With the Mortal Agony Mighty Swing combo. Peguero and Harissa there taking some damage. And Babina's just sitting on the point. Faye's actually in a lot of trouble. One more stack of
Desperate Prayer comes out just in time. Yeah, nearly dies anyway, though. Miskatonic picking up one onto Harissa. And the Humble guys, they're just invincible. And like you say, these cloth healers have got so much output that you have to tunnel one of them. And every time they do that, Berberina's just going crazy with the Grudge. Dio actually gets a kill onto Fayez with a poison pot just in front of the tent as well. So close to freedom. This rotation once again going to go to the Humble Light Ron Weasley boys. And now it's 118 to 77. And it's starting to look quite bad for the leftovers.
Yeah, I mean, leftovers, the problem is they have the damage there. Fayez could swap to Grudge, and then all of a sudden they have that single target option. But Fayez was opted to use the Armor Pierce with the Clarent Blade instead. I like the call, but it's not really working for them at this point. Epic actually getting zoned off the invade, but the problem is that they're still going to be able to secure this top right and potentially go for the middle cap. I do like it how Epic, I believe, going off memory, was actually running the Poison Thorns the first time around, and they had 2 healers, one of them kind of doing some
Yeah, so
DPS.
he can do a bit of dueling as well. If he needs
Yeah.
to 1v1 for the off caps, it works quite well. Nice damage onto Epic now. Silenced by the smoke bomb. Could be in a bit of bother. Seems to have stabilized though. Bongo nice and deep. Harissa eats that mighty swing. Huge tackle coming out from Dio, connecting with 3, but the cleanse is pretty quick. Unfortunately for Peguero, he's going to get slept. He's going to get silenced, and Berberina goes machine gun mode. Miskatonic actually gets credit for the kill from the split and slash poison pot combo. Harissa also going to get dropped, and that is the huge turnaround. Fea's going to go into the ice block. Steflex trying to desperately drive Miskatonic back, but no chance. The Wimwall's going to come out. Fea's now in a horrible, horrible position. I don't know if he's got any mobility left. Oh, Mortal Agony Mighty swing is whiffed. The sprint coming out from both. Does he have a split and slash? It might be enough. He actually opts to back out of this fight. The cap has gone, and now we're getting towards 3-cap territory. They might just be able to pull it back if they start winning these fights, but at 16-2, I don't know where it's going to come from. They just can't push through the healing, even though they've actually got 4 DPS and no tank. The 2 healers are playing out of their minds, and they're never letting them get shut down. They're positioning well so that the DPS are wasting time trying to chase them, and they're forcing them through Berberina, and it's really working. That machine gun build, the haste jacket, grudge, torch is insanity, isn't it?
Yeah, the problem is that leftovers actually have the potential to win these 1v1 the single target burst fights. They have a demon helmet and the hunter jacket on Steflex. That's a dead healer right there, especially if you jump onto Epilic where he hasn't got a cleanse. But Fea's opting to stay with the armor piercer. So Bongo actually taking a little bit of damage there, but just going to leap out. Healing's come out, and he's fine. Miskatonic got blown up then.
Good play from Harissa, actually, turning it round. The call from Peguero came. The desperate prayer was absolutely clutch, and Miskatonic had overcommitted. Suddenly, it looks like they may have an opportunity. The poison pot comes out onto Bongo. Epilic has to leap out. Dio comes in with a 2-man tackle. Winwall's 3 off the point. The death curse on Zabroska is probably going to kill him if nothing happens. Boom! Goes the dynamite, and down goes Zabroska. Now Fea's is the recipient of some grudge action. Dio going to lock him down. The sleep should come out to follow up soon. Silence with the demon helm onto Peguero. That's a healer that's not doing anything. Has to use his energy pot as well. Harissa now in a bit of trouble. Fea's getting turreted by Berberina. Peguero using that Fiend's Robe to fear Berberina away, but now he gets pressured. Miskatonic is finally going to collect the kill on Fea's once the ice block is gone, and it looks like they should be stabilizing anytime soon. Berberina with that grudge again, putting out the damage onto Harissa. Peguero's nearly going for his 2nd energy bar here after using the energy pot. Miskatonic going deep. Don't think he's got the mighty swing available to him. Berberina still putting the stacks. The silence comes out onto Peguero. This time he has no cleanse available, so the healer is going to drop. Harissa gets the grudge haste combo, and down he goes as well. Humble like Ron Weasley, they looked on the ropes with that early kill, but they're recovering nicely and putting the pain train into the leftovers.
Yes, so much damage coming out. Steflex got annihilated there with the splitting slash. Fea's having to ice block the death curse there. But, I mean, the problem is they're only really able to lose people when the healers are a little bit uncoordinated. So we saw it at the start of this sort of 5v5 fight. Bongo took some damage, had to royal boots out. Epilic actually swapped around to keep Bongo up. Miskatonic got swapped onto and exploded. And they have to be doing that to actually secure kills at the moment. Zabroska are going to go down as well. Babina is just doing so much damage with that curse staff. The problem is Peguero is using the cleanse on the tackles from Dio as opposed to the curse, the death curses. So
yeah,
the
but there's also demon helms. There's also sleeps. There's so much that he needs to cleanse. It's almost like one cleanse isn't cutting it, is it? Because there's so many things. I think I honestly disagree. That I think the bruisers have got to take responsibility for the death curse, and they have to iframe it. You know, they have to save something to protect themselves from the death curse, because there's no way they can rely on the cleanse. The second Peguero uses his cleanse on the death curse, they're just going to lock him down with demon helms.
Yeah, Fea, I don't think they actually realise how the one-hand curse works as well, and it sucks to say, but not enough people actually play the weapon for people to be confident in it. Fea's actually got Death Curse on him there, and just immediately ice block, thinking that you could immune frame it, but you can't. It's going to apply to you as a buff. and it then came on afterwards. And again, Harissa, while the stacks should drop, Harissa going to get hit with another Death Curse, and Babina actually doing such a crazy amount of work here with this.
Is a one-man wrecking ball right now. Dio's hitting those big tackles, and he's just got the follow-up. Watch Zabroska here. Watch Zabroska's HP. This is a one-man job. He just dropped that Clarent Blade to half in a few seconds. He's leaping all over the place. Zabroska, though, went stealth and stayed on him. Down comes the Demonic Field as well. Zabroska's going to get the heals. Miskatonic picks up the kill onto Harissa, though. And this could be all over. 15 points remaining. This might be the last full rotation for the team, unless they can hold this one. Zabroska now does dodge roll, but he does manage to just dodge roll. Catches the last frame, I believe, before that Death Curse went off. Peguero going to fear Dio back, but he's running straight into Berberina. Zabroska now taking huge amounts of damage. The Demon Helm and tackle onto Peguero. Berberina getting credit for that kill. Steflex in a lot of trouble. The Grudge is out. He's going to use that block. Berberina just leaping forward, not giving a damn. He wants to get involved and just put the hurt on them.
Got annihilated.
Harissa, not even time for the Death Curse to go off. And now
Rabina
poor old Fayers, yeah, Rabina is, Berberina is 12 kills. Actually, Miskatonic's got 14 as well. This team, that's 26 kills between two players. I mean, they are the only two DPS, but this is how you play a double healer comp. You have to have some crazy damage output. You know, you have to have a tank that sets up the lockdown. He's doing a great job of dealing with that single healer. Peguero can't even get near this fight right now. If he's not getting tackled and locked down by Dio, he's getting all of the damage. Peguero doesn't have a cleanse available. The Death Curse is going to proc and nearly kills him. The Vile Curse might finish him off if he's not careful. Berberina's already got Grudge up again. Has to leap away. Steflex and Zabroska zoning him out, but Bongo's just sitting there healing away. And if you don't pressure either healer, it's so hard to kill anyone. Berberina picking up another kill on Steflex. Dio gets credit for that one. The cap finally does rotate. And another demolition job to finish off the evening here at Albion TV. 31-3 is your final scoreline. And 12 caps to 6 and a final 87-0 overall one. Really strong play, and that is a good double healer setup as well. I mean, I almost don't like the tank in double healer, but they make it work because Berberina just does absolutely disgusting damage. And they, like you said, they weren't reacting that well to the Death Curse, but I just think it's too risky, isn't it? You need to have a different cleanse almost.
The Nature Cleanse is obviously a real hard counter to it, just because you have that ranged cleanse, so you can always just cleanse it off straight away. It's a 15-second cooldown, same as the Death Curse. Obviously, Death Curse lasts a little while as well, so you actually have a lot of time to cleanse it off. In terms of the dodge rolling it's hard to do. You have to basically use the Royal Shoes and use them only for Death Curses, because it's a 15-second cooldown as well. There's ways to counter it. There's a lot of ways to counter it, but the problem is if people don't understand how the weapon works, and that does happen when it's something that's not quite meta, it's hard to deal with. And Babina kind of showed it there, that Death Curse going absolutely crazy.
He was like a machine gun, though, with that torch and haste combo. I think he was almost faster than a glaive. It was insane.
Curse Staffs can almost be... I think they're like the second or third possible fastest weapon. They're really strong. They have a very high attacks per second anyway. You then link that with the fact they have Grudge in between Death Curses. You've got that Grudge combo just to come out and do so much damage. So definitely a well thought about build. The Demon Helmet coming out as well, which is just pretty crazy. And yeah, I like this squad. I mean, they didn't have the damage to start off with, but actually they had the sustainability, and that's kind of what mattered. They just won over the
once the opposition starts to run out of steam, then you can just punish them hard, and they simply just can't keep up. One holy healer really struggles to keep up with that spread damage. The mighty swings coming out were huge. He was doing great work there, and it was just all around well played, really, wasn't it? Miskatonic getting a massive body count with that Clarent Blade in one match, especially when Berberina was doing so much damage. Miska did well to always be in the right position, almost catch them